supposed to do. So this NINAS video is NINAS Union Reset Proposition, a start to finish practical design. And we told you that this particular video was sent to us by our father, Reverend Dr. David Salami. He's from Southwest Block, part of NINAS. And he's doing this under his platform, DTV. It's an initiative he put in place to mobilize his own people, the indigenous people of Southwest. We told you we have the indigenous peoples of Middle Belt. We have indigenous peoples of Lower Niger, Congress area. Call it what you want. It's just for organization's sake, because you have to be organized. Like I told you, that NINA's work is based on principles and theories. So you must follow things line by line, precept upon precept. You don't just wake up and say, okay, I think it's this, I think it's that. No. So we'll continue to play this video again. Remember, he said something about differentiating the Federation of Nigeria from the unitary Nigeria. Understand the difference, because when people say Nigeria, Nigeria, some people are so passionate about Nigeria. We ask them, which one? Which Nigeria are you passionate about? Is it the unitary one that tied everybody's hand together, or the federal one that never came to existence, died at stillbirth child? The Federal Republic of Nigeria died as he was coming out of the womb. He didn't make it out. It was stillbirth. As people were cooking it up, our ancestors, our forebearers were doing it, planning, not knowing that the enemy was just waiting by the corner to poison the system. So the Federal Republic of Nigeria died at birth, stillbirth. He didn't even make it. He didn't even take the first fresh air. So when people tell you, oh, I remember Nigeria, this, that only little thing you enjoyed was why our people were trying to cook Nigeria, the one that they wanted. Not knowing that when they had what they had in their mind, thinking that they were on the table, planning with the people, that the enemy was busy injecting poison into the system. So as they were about to bring out the child, he came out dead. Yes. So that's the one that some people can even talk about, not this unitary Nigeria. So in place of that one, it's like you're about to give birth to a child. They poisoned the child as the child was coming forth and brought the child of an enemy, replaced it and said, oh, madam, see your baby. See your baby. You now took the enemy's child, cobra, home. I'm going to go and start feeding the cobra, thinking it was the one that you wanted to bathe. The child that you carried for 9 months that you wanted to bring out, that's one you took home. You didn't know you took the child of a cobra back home and went home to go and start feeding the cobra. What will happen to you? The cobra is going to grow and swallow you, finish you and the entire family. We'll continue to play again. Please continue to share, like, and subscribe. This conversation is very, very important. We can see our brother Isi Momodu. Thank you so much, always being here. Thank you for all the people that I can call now. Please continue to share, like, and subscribe, because we're here to do what we need to do. Thank you.
Back to what was it we did in 2020, December 16, to now 2024, December 16, being the 4th anniversary. And it is at the point of this 4th anniversary that we first celebrate the demise, because the strategic objective for the union dispute we declared by way of that constitutional force majeure. The objective was to take down that 1999 constitution in an orderly manner. In that orderly manner, there will be a transition. If a majority of the people who are living in the hell Nigeria has become, if all of us will in one accord, that's what we describe as joint jailbreak. If in one accord we say, this constitution is not of our making, it has our signature in forgery, it has injured us in every possible way. Anybody can suffer injury, whether it is our economic assets that are detained, or the exclusive right of the enemy to possess all the guns in the land and use as they will, or the corruption that the instrument authorizes, or the immunity it confers on those who will take the money from the treasury. The president, the 36 governors have immunity, and they are the ones who sign out all the money. They do not owe you any obligation according to that constitution. Go and see what is in section 6, subsection 6C. The citizens are not owed any obligation by government. Government does not owe you the school, the hospital, the right to equal treatment, and even the one that they say is the primary duty of government, welfare and security of the citizen. The chapter 2 that has all those things for the citizen is rendered, discretionary to the government by section 6, section 6C. Go and find out any lawyer who tells you any other thing. Tell him he's illiterate. Tell him he's dishonest.
Yes.
That the Nigerian state does not owe you any obligation. The pretense that they do owe you that obligation is has become the trade of those lawyers who go to EFCC, who go to election petition, instead of joining in this discussion about the constitution by which Nigeria is convened, by which Nigeria is defined, by which Nigeria is governed. Three different things. Because when you hear government of the people, by the people, for the people, it's all, there are always those three elements. The constitution, there's the union question, the structure question, and the system question, in that order. If you don't take up the union question, then you find Sunday Igboho and the rest of the Yoruba nation crowd saying they don't belong here. They don't know what they're talking about. You find the ones doing Biafra, waving Biafra flag to say that it is the union question they are raising. It is the union question they are raising. Then you go to the question of the structure, the terms of that union. When you see the Niger Delta agitation saying resource control, by what mechanism did the oil and gas become the property of Medebiribe in Maiduguri? Or the oil and gas of Bayelsa belonging to Jigawa, like we had one lunatic saying on national TV. And so these are the issues. Those three items, they are like the roots of a tree, the trunk, and the foliage. They are like the foundation of a building, the vertical column, and the roof. You hear about people who overheat the polity. The polity is that foundation upon which the union is anchored. That's the constitution. The politics is the management of that enterprise. That's where you see elections and all of the INEC and everybody how do people come to be the managers of that enterprise in that period? Mm-hmm. It is as dictated by the constitution. So if you have not settled the question of constitution and you jump into free and fair election, like here many demented people go to canvass, free and fair election under a constitution of apartheid. Imagine. Rule of law under a constitution of apartheid. Imagine. Any lawyer that goes to TV in Nigeria to say that rule of law, his campaign for rule of law, or the rule of law is failing. Under this constitution, you can't have rule of law in a constitution of impunity. What else do you need to see to know that it is so? Look at what is going on in Ekiti. Look at where it's coming from. And look at the madness that is being celebrated all over the place. But that matter is going to bring open all the rots in all the systems that make up that Nigeria. And so back to our illustration. In 2020, we declared this dispute and we offered a 5-point proposition for how to settle it. There's nobody else, the government, the patriots, and all the people who have come with the Fakbonda group and what are those their names? All of those that come to say, restructure, we do it this way and not that way. The NINAS 5-point proposition is the only proposition on the table that identifies the problem in specificity. The unitary constitution of Nigeria, that identifies the solution to decommission that constitution, that identifies the mechanism for applying that solution. That is to suspend the elections, go into transition to rework that constitution. That's the mechanism for that decommissioning. The number 4 of the proposition is a strategy for activating that mechanism. To say, look, let the victims of this constitution insist that they won't go to another election as a mark of their rejection of that constitution.
Yes.
And therefore, be the ones to come in a two-stage procedure to work out the replacement. It is not the business of National Assembly. The question of constitution making is far beyond the mandate, the legislative mandate of National Assembly. Anybody in the National Assembly who is discussing constitution on your behalf is holding on to your sovereignty, and they're telling you they now own you. They are now the owners of the sovereignty. That you voted at the election it has become reason why they are now the owners of your lives. They can decide what will happen to you, whereas you are the one who sent them on an errand, and they went and joined the enemy to wreck you, to kill you, and share your blood. That is what they do every month in Abuja. They're sharing your blood. And so, in the fifth proposition, we say a time-bound announcement. What we're inviting the peoples of Nigeria to do today is to adopt those 5 points of proposition, because that is what will take the matter from start to finish, where we are now. There's nothing that is going to stop those who are tormenting you from carrying on in 2027. Is it the police that will repent and come and join you in how to topple them in election? Is it the INEC that have been sharing with them for many years that will repent and now begin to count your vote? No. Is it this judiciary we have seen that is going to repent and now declare the truth, no. Declare the law? Mm-mm. We've seen that they have gone worse than they have ever been. And so all of what you need to bring about any change, if you don't define it by yourself, you have to define the change. It's not enough to come and say, oh, we want change. Oh, we want revolution. What is it that has to be done to bring about that change? What is it that has to be done to compel the renegades that are now have hijacked the powers of state? In an election, we saw how it went. And this address goes to all of those who subscribe to that constitution, who subscribe to elections under that constitution, because their stupidity has led us to where we are now, in which millions of people are distressed. That stupidity, by that small number, has become the reason 230 million people can perish. Sorry. Their life is already ruined. Many are dying off. Others are running away to even more serious danger than Nigeria is. You saw the ones in Libya. You saw the ones going to Asia. You saw the ones that managed to get to UK. They are telling them now that they have to be deported. They have to be taken to Rwanda or wherever. Go to the US and see the pandemonium. But all of us, home and abroad, who suffer because we are Nigerians, whose passports have become a badge of shame, this address applies to all of you. The diaspora, the Nigerian diaspora, we are talking about the constitution that is worse than apartheid. You are busy organizing yourself in how you come and vote. Vote the votes of the millions of people at home. What has it amounted to under this constitution?
Nothing.
Why can't you join that discussion of how we get rid of this constitution? The South Africans in the days of apartheid, who were overseas, everybody was on one subject. How do we get rid of apartheid constitution?
Exactly.
But today you're not involved in the discussion of getting rid of that constitution. You're talking about how to come and vote, how to come and all of you belong to one party or the other. We see you come in and go. You fly in for party conventions. You partake, you are party chairman of which party under which constitution? Under which constitution? We ask you. What is the value of your education if you cannot sit down and make an analysis of what the problem is? Can you cure an ailment if you have not diagnosed it?
No.
And so we invite you to this. If you have not read that force majeure, particularly the 5-point proposition, you get on whatever search engine, Google, whatever. Go to the website www.ninasvoice.org. Search for, just type force majeure. It will come up in many headings. Go and read that 5-point proposition so you can see what we're talking about. So we come back to our illustration. At that point in 2020, where we came out with that union dispute and the 5-point proposition, declaring that emergency,
Yes.
we began with enlightenment of the people to say, look, this is what has happened, this is what we can do. In the period between that A and B, you can see that the 20-year process deployed, against the Unity Constitution had gained traction amongst those who didn't know. So by the time we were going to station B, they were now saying, oh, this constitution, everywhere, even in marketplaces,
Yes,
everywhere you go, you will see that people are discussing constitution. They may not be able to explain it the way we're explaining it, but it is the constitution that they now know that the constitution is the problem.
exactly.
The only thing they need to know next is that the operators of that constitution are the reasons the constitution has survived for this length of time, even with all of what we have done. We have delegitimized it. Nobody is able to say now that the constitution is not the problem, apart from characters like Peter Obi, who only him knows, because he first said that Nigeria is like a vehicle without engine. How did he turn around now to begin to load people into that vehicle without engine? And look at where he dumped them in February of 2025. They came out, they voted in overwhelming numbers for him. So we go from that point of that consensus in that B to where in C we are now asking them to come with us in rejecting further national elections under that constitution, particularly in 2027, so that as they reject that election on account of their rejection of that constitution,
Yes,
there's no other thing anybody can do than the transition to work out the alternative. Otherwise, the union stands dissolved under the constitution of a forgery, of a fraud. And so, if our people will listen to us now, before the politicians come telling them what magic they are going to perform in 2027, if they vote them, the only thing remaining to stop this madness after this many years is for our people to say, we will not go to another election under this constitution. We insist on a transition now.
exactly.
And if we're not getting into that transition to rework the constitutional architecture of this union, then to your tent, everybody must go.
Exactly.
That is what will take us from station C into station D. Because once we arrive at the arrival in station D, that is, once election of 2027 is rejected as a strategy for taking down that constitution, then we go into the transition itself. That's between station D, as if going back to A, but going back that the joint jailbreak, we will either then become a independent units of successor state entities, or a confederation, or a proper federation. That is what will happen by choice, by referendums and plebiscites, by negotiations, by identifying all of those. That's what the only thing between D and the A again is just that reconstruction.
Exactly.
So our task is to move things from where they are now to enforce that consensus against that constitution, against the enforcers of that constitution. That is what NINAS will be inviting everybody to from this 4th anniversary, because everything we wondered about had happened.
Everything.
The election had gone the way it's gone. The outcome has plunged us into a deeper mess. And if we don't do something to halt it, we're getting into deeper waters in a vessel that is leaking from all sides, with a captain and crew that are drunken sailors are sailing you in rickety ship into troubled waters.
Oh.
Stop there.
And Africans in general. Because, yes, we gained independence in 1960, but we are never free. So we are here to shed light on everything that needed to be done so that we can be free. But while we are going on, one of the things we're going to look into clearly, critically, is the role of religion. The role of bad religion in keeping Nigerians under the captivity of the political class because of their relationship with the general overseers, bishops, primates, who only seek for their own good rather than for the good of their congregation. No religion is exempted from this problem.
Yes.
And these are the things that DTV has come to expose. So, friends, sit down, press the subscribe button, and like the program, and you will not regret doing it.
Thank you so much, our Father, right there, for the work that you did. We appreciate. This is what we have been telling other religious leaders, whether Christianity or Muslim, Islam or tradition or whatever it is that you're worshiping. You must work towards the freedom of your people. So thank you so much, Reverend Dr. David Salami. At his age, he should be resting and saying, no, but he's out there going to grassroots, mobilizing his people, explaining to his fellow Christian leaders, the sincere ones, because we know there are some pastors and priests that are sincere, but majority that we are seeing on social media and everywhere with their private jet and everything, they are not sincere. They are very dishonest and wicked, if you ask me. Very greedy. Because I don't understand why Paul Enenche, for example, that they are massacring his people every day. We choose to be not being with politicians and doing Imakwandayo. It doesn't make sense to me. So we are inviting everyone. You heard in the video, Nigerian passport is now a badge of shame. Yes, that green passport. When they see you, they'll say, come, come, come. So we must insist on reworking this union. We must. So thank you so much for those that are sharing. We can see those that are making, continue to hit the like button, to make the algorithm, to make people to see the video more, because we need our people to see this video more, and then so that decision can be made. They will make that decision fast, because we don't want them to perish. We don't want them to continue to die harder dying. That's not the will of God. And we can make things to be different. So thank you so much. Remember, in our show, the way we do it, we play videos and then we begin to pull up our PowerPoint slides to break it down. Because sometimes people say, oh, NINAS, they're speaking plain English. We don't understand. Yes, the work of NINAS had to be done at certain level, because we are talking to the world. We are not coming from one bush and no. So that's why it has to be standard. That's why I see their videos are usually, like standard English, standard presentation. That is why we're here as Daughters of Truth, to break it down for you, so that our grassroots, you see, on this platform, we speak Igbo, we speak Pidgin, we speak anything, any language, anything that we can speak. So far, that our people are getting the information. So that's why we present things the way we present. We bring video, we bring PowerPoint slides, so that you'll be seeing it. Even if we talk so fast, you didn't hear, you can read it and follow the line and say, okay, what did they say? We bring pictures, we bring everything just to help our people to understand, because we want our people to understand. It's very important to us. We don't want to do follow. Our people have done follow. Enough for years. It's enough. Because the Bible said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. So we want to bridge that gap of information for our people, so that our people can follow intelligently, because we know they're intelligent. So that's where we do it the way we